By the new season of Craft Journeys, we came to the realization that craftsmanship is very important. And not only because small and medium-sized productions are the foundation of Ukraine's economy, but also because craftsmen preserve traditions and sometimes even revive them. Not to mention that they promote Ukrainian culture and specifically identity. Today's episode is about such people. I am Yevhen Sinelnikov, and this is Craft Journeys.
We, Tetiana and Olena, make unusual borscht.
Unusual borscht? I'm coming over. Girls, I'm sorry, but unusual borscht, what does that mean?
It means that you can create your own flavor of borscht. We have more than 50 ingredients, and by combining them, you can create your own borscht. Our borscht can be in a classic form or in the form of a smoothie. Imagine you can just walk down the street and drink it like coffee. It's very convenient and it's very, very tasty and very healthy. And also...
Borscht smoothie?
And also, our borscht can be in the form of bread, in the form of a pancake, or in the form of ice cream.
What?
Yes, it's healthy and delicious.
Borscht ice cream?
Borscht ice cream, borscht bread, borscht pancake.
You have to try it.
You have to.
Borscht smoothie, borscht pancake, borscht ice cream.
And borscht bread.
Shall we have some borscht?
We will have borscht with Prosecco in 2 weeks. Yum, yum.
Borscht with Prosecco.
It's healthy and fun.
100% class, so I'm ready to try something extraordinary.
Something delicious and borscht-like, right? Right. Okay, look, we have a classic borscht that we make vegan using olive oil and adding roasted beetroot. And you can add any ingredient you like. It can be meat, pork, poultry, it can be meatballs, it can be stuffed drumstick or buckwheat cutlet. You can also add some unusual toppings, like door blue cheese, for example, with grapes, or sun-dried tomatoes.
Door blue cheese with grapes? Is that the one with mold?
Yes, the one with the green mold.
Wow.
But it's very tasty and unusual.
Let's try it.
You could even take a borscht smoothie with you on the go.
Let's try it, and I'll bring some borscht for my wife. Sorry, Natalochka, yours is still the best borscht. So that's your concept, as I understand it. Borscht, and only borscht here, but borscht can be like this, like that, even in pancakes, right?
We can make borscht in pancakes, we can make borscht in bread. And we make very delicious, the most popular dishes in the world, such as pancake burger, pancake hot dog. But in each of them, the elements of borscht are present.
And that's the most important thing.
Wow, so this is vegan borscht. Borscht, yes. This is cottage cheese, grapes, sour cream.
You can add it to taste. And now I want to suggest that you guess what this roulade is made of.
And let's start with it then.
All right.
So, how is it?
I don't get it. This isn't cherry.
But it tastes almost like cherry.
Yes. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that it's cherry. Or maybe it's cherry? No, well, this is from borscht. Yes, from beetroot.
Yes, exactly.
70% of the filling is beetroot.
What is it, sweet?
It's sweet, it's also made with apple. But this is beetroot, which is baked, it's very sweet, it's very tasty and very healthy.
Very tasty, that's true.
And this is our borscht seasoning, which is added to our borscht when we cook it.
Yes, well, to be honest, I want to try this.
You're welcome.
And I just put the cheese in there, right?
Right there.
And the grapes go in there too? And the grapes, are you sure?
Well, maybe we're wrong, but I think the truth is still on our side, taste-wise.
Borscht with grapes and cheese.
Borscht is our classics, it's our history, but we can bring something new, something that changes, something that improves.
It's like the Ukrainian language, right? It's alive, it changes, it develops, and so does borscht. It grows. Zheka Klopotenko, you don't know everything about borscht. Okay, well, let's try. So that all the thickness is there, both cheese and grapes. Interesting.
Unusual, but very interesting. And our modern tastes intertwine with our historical ones.
At first it's just borscht, then after that, after the grapes, there's a certain sweetness, and then I had cheese, and it's like that. Surprising, yes. At first it's like regular borscht, then it's sweet, and after that it's cheesy. Cool. Very unusual.
Unusual, very contrasting flavors, but they come together and create something new, unusual, modern.
It's unusual but tasty. It looks interesting and modern.
These are our family recipes that have been in our family for a very long time.
So you didn't come up with it, but you had this recipe?
This is a family recipe that is probably more than 50 years old. And the modern touch is that my daughter Olenka, she was the one who suggested adding this uniqueness to bring a modern twist to the family flavors.
And it was from the taste of borscht with dorblu that our idea for Die Borscht was born.
And tell me, please, how do people react?
The best way they react is by lining up outside for us. When it was -20, it was winter, it was very cold, and we still had a line.
I want to try this too. Yes, this is a smoothie. Is that what it is? Regular borscht, but blended?
No, each of our dishes has its own little secrets that add this richness of flavor. It's not just blended borscht. We usually prepare it individually and according to our own recipe. So try it and you'll feel that the flavors are very different.
And I like that it's so trendy. You just put in a straw and that's it.
And you can post it on Instagram.
Yes, a real smoothie. And
Also for this, you can go without wasting time when you have very little of it.
borscht. It's borscht. Damn. This is really cool. It's so cold.
Vitamin rich, just a summer taste, awesome.
And most importantly, this borscht in this form can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. And you just come to us once, buy it for yourself, put it in the fridge or freezer, and for a whole week you have delicious and healthy borscht that you don't need to cook, just enjoy.
Did you pick this up somewhere or did it come to you naturally?
It came naturally. Thank you. It turned out well. Likewise.
So here, as I understand it, you not only have family recipes, right? It's also a family business, isn't it?
Our main activity is that we have the Kellison brand. It's a brand of clothing, food, and lifestyle.
It's harmony both on the outside and on the inside.
That is, what we eat is also reflected in our appearance.
We care a lot about making sure that a person looks beautiful on the outside, as well as their inner world and inner fulfillment. It was very beneficial for all of us.
And I will add, friends, that a person should eat what grows around them. Don't eat pineapples and bananas. We don't have them here. We eat borscht, especially since borscht can be made in a modern way. Yes, this is the central department store. And yes, this is a story about craft that is sold in the central department store. Wow, what a vase.
How much does it cost?
6,900. Well, vases are always, good vases are never cheap.
Well, that's how it is.
And that's all.
I am Masha Yakush, and I have a brand of tableware and decor made from blown glass.
You need to have such courage to go out and sell in the central department store. Well, that's how it seems to me.
We are not the only Ukrainians in the central department store who sell or produce something. I think you need to want this. You need to do a bit more, work with public relations, with marketing, produce in batches so that it becomes some kind of product line. Not just some little trinket that you sell and that's it. You don't have it anymore and you can't repeat it, but we produce in batches.
So, like, I really like this aunt. She's not one of a kind, right?
No, you see, with those aunts, as you said, it's actually an interesting story. This is Venera. We worked on her for a very long time. It took about a year to make her. And we have this story with them that each Venera is unique, meaning she has her own unique coloring and there isn't another Venera like her. So, for example, this one with flowers, yes, we have others with flowers, but the flowers will be in different places, so you won't find exactly the same one.
Listen, well, I actually already know what the strength of this glass is. And people think, well, glass products, what are they made of? How are they made?
If Murano glass is like Italy's thing, then blown glass is Ukraine's thing. This is actually a very ancient technology that was born in the 14th or 16th century. Historians themselves don't really know. They write differently. We say the 15th century to be somewhere in the middle. And actually, this is a unique technology because it is free-blown glass. It's all handmade work. The word Huta itself comes from the German Hütten, which means furnace. And those houses where there used to be only furnaces in Ukraine were also called hutas, where glass was produced. And that's how it came to be called Huta glass, that's it.
So all of this is made by hand, right?
Yes, this is free-blown glass. So the master takes, if you've seen a ball, blows it, and then shapes it with tongs or other tools. So it's all done, well, I mean, pulled all in real time.
So this aunt, she was a ball, and then he shapes her like a sculptor?
Yes, yes, the master does it all by hand in real time.
Cool, and where?
In Lviv region. It's like a cradle of glass blowing in Ukraine. And there have always been many glass blowing productions there. But now the situation is such that after the start of the full-scale invasion, there are very few of them left. That is, we are working with the only...
You mean the craftsmen, right?
Well, without workshops, there are no craftsmen. After all, if there's nowhere to work, then there are no craftsmen either. There's only one art glass workshop left in Ukraine, the one we cooperate with. So for us, you know, it's a mission not only to support our brand, but also to preserve the industry in Ukraine as a whole.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. I really like this too. It's something that always feels complete.
Christmas collection.
So, central department store. That's because it's not cheap and it's more for foreign clients, meaning tourists, some connoisseurs who understand that this vase is much more interesting than those Chinese stamped things.
Well, we are working. Before the full-scale invasion, we worked only for the Ukrainian market. After the full-scale invasion, of course, we are trying to enter the foreign market, started participating in exhibitions, and began to target advertising more toward the foreign market. And so now we are selling in some European countries, but I think that the central department store itself just realized that Ukrainian is cool, and that it's necessary to represent not only European or American masters or some other brands, That Ukrainian is what should be represented first and foremost, Ukrainian in the central department store, in the main department store of the capital of Ukraine. So I think that this was also an initiative of the central department store. Thanks to them, we can also sell here among others.
Cool. And where do you get your ideas from?
It's actually quite a story.
We were inspired by the classic forms of the Hollywood era of the 1930s.
It's a kind of glass for cocktails and martinis. You can make these kinds of bubbles in glass, and people really like it, so we decided to make them in this shape. I think it's cool. You can even just look at it somewhere in the sunlight.
Cool, it's all so unusual. Where do you get these ideas from? Is that so, but let's just do it like that?
No, well, for each collection, these are different ideas. Well, I can't, develop just one idea there and work on it for, I don't know, a year, 2, 3. After all, we've existed since 2017, and everything depends on, the mood, the trends. And these are called Upcycled, like ice cream, because this leg, as you can see, has a frosted effect. Here I was inspired, when the windows in the car, freeze over, that's the effect you get.
Winter story? Winter.
Winter story, yes.
Is there something like a super top seller? What do people buy the most?
You could say that our top one is the balance.
This one? Yes.
It's actually the first glass cup we made.
I see. It stands like this, right? And like this, it stands. Cool. Listen, how did you work during blackouts?
The production cycle was reduced several times. We had a large order from the Netherlands. But the main thing was that we had communication, so we could talk to our clients and explain that maybe the deadlines would be pushed back a bit, let's say. But still, everything was great. Everything worked out, and we did everything on time. By the way, such a vase was bought at an auction in New York by an American for $5,000, and all the money went to support the Hidna project.
Respect to him. Awesome. $5,000.
$5,000 off.
Expensive. But beautiful.
Going to Centralny Univermag would have been cheaper.
Well, I didn't think about it.
Friends, now I'm going to amaze you with craft. We're going to watch now, and I assure you, you don't expect what you're about to see.
I am Yevhen, I am Yakiv, and we make steel tongue drums.
Hello, Yevhen.
A little bit of magic.
Yakiv.
I'm also Yevhen Yevhenovich, double G, my respect.
What is this?
Magical flying saucers with a very magical sound. This is a pedal drum, and it's a relative of the hang.
I feel like I'm in a massage parlor right now.
Well, that's just a comparison.
Very cool. Do you have a musical education?
No, I'm a railway engineer. Several events that changed my life and led to the fact that now we are making such unusual musical instruments.
Listen, tell me, friends, how much does it cost?
This one costs 9,400 hryvnias.
And this one?
This one is 3,000 hryvnias. Is there a difference in size? Oh, this is a completely different material. I can tell everything, just like I tell our clients who come to us. Well, let's start with the sizes. the smallest ones. They're like music boxes. Everything, it's quiet here. There are no thoughts. And that's the thing, that pause in the inner dialogue. When you play, you just get carried away from your body and you simply dissolve into the instrument. The pearl of our masters, of our workshop, are these huge pots, these really big ones that have, well, I'll tell you, it's a really deep sound, a very deep bass, and these instruments, they're more meditative. At first there were hang drums, a bit of history in the year 2000 then.
That's the one that's dented in, right?
I can show you. Go ahead. Basically, it all started with this, with hand pans.
In what year was that?
In the year 2000, the company Pan Art, and they were studying the style of pans from Trinidad and Tobago, musical instruments.
Is it the one like this, that one? Yes, yes.
Rosa Lochka and all that movement. In 2007, they cut the first gas cylinder and called it Tombiro. And the dude who made it was also a musical inventor. And then it ended up on the internet, as always. And that's it. For 3 or 4 years, all over the world, workshops, dudes in garages were cutting gas cylinders, tuning them, posting something. And then, you know, for sure, this video, 2 dudes sitting under a baobab tree, wearing hats, playing. And this is the first group that really shined and took off. They brought this unusual thing into the culture, and it reached me in 2015.
At Yakova when?
In 16. We just started doing it separately. Back then I was actually living in another city. I came here, we somehow met there, started messaging each other on the internet.
Cool, and it turned into a collaboration.
Yeah, that's how it turned out.
It just so happened that Etsy was starting to develop in Ukraine that year.
A platform where handmade masters sell their products.
You could say the platform made us.
Ah, so the main client is still not Ukrainian, right?
Yes, there was foreign demand back then. We were already producing quality tools at that time. People appreciated it. And that's, I don't know, probably 90% thanks to Etsy that we developed back then.
At the Kaleidoscope Festival near Kyiv, I'm just walking with a drum and I see a pine tree with a knot. I take my phone, hang the drum, and take a photo. An hour later, we post it on Etsy, and it becomes the biggest listing, the one that sold the most times on Etsy. And we just start putting everything we have into it, both our time and our money. We're already in this, as they say, like, we've crossed the point of no return.
I think the indicator is that our tools are already being copied right now. That's the story.
And it was the Chinese who started it. Yes, the Chinese, and they killed Etsy. Yes, the Chinese just killed Etsy. They arrived, made multiple accounts, and sold Glockophones for $60 each. People bought them, and that was it. Handmade toys used to be common, but now Chinese factories mass-produce them, with children as young as kids already sewing the toys.
People realize it's no longer handmade and see no reason to overpay, so they simply leave the platform.
Those hand pans you saw, I'm learning how to make them here now. That's it.
Wow.
There are a bunch of hammers here, all kinds of pneumatic dampers, connections, and this room is so that we don't bother anyone. You just move it like this, back and forth, and then it stops here. Take it, twist it into the oven to normalize and stabilize, then bring it back and hammer it repeatedly. I recently counted, I've already worn out 18 hammers. And some of them turned out to be really, well, interesting, but still, if something doesn't work, that's it. You just use them for nuts and that's all. One of the ideas is to make flat gongs. And then they start resonating together. Cool. And then you take it out and start cutting, grinding it, hitting, beating, listening. And you come home all covered in this golden sawdust. Your hands are golden, your beard is golden. It's such fine, fine dust.
Friends, I look at you and I'm a bit envious because I can see in your eyes that you're doing what you love. That's really cool. A lot of people tell us that.
And acquaintances too. When you start talking about this topic, your eyes light up, your eyes are shining.
And I had a question like this. What did your parents say at first? Not now, when you are already more or less successful and it's clear that you're doing your own thing. But when you were just starting out, like, Mom, I'm a railway engineer, I'm gonna make drums.
Oh no, back then everything was much more depressing. I worked in advertising and outdoor advertising, so we made signs and all that. You were still a student, right?
Yes, I started as a student. Used to earn some extra money there in the workshop doing something.
Then I went to Kovelia. And I started with advertising, and I'm actually from Sumy region, Konotop. My parents there, they already treated me like a guy who, whatever comes to his mind, that's what he'll do, like, without any questions. And the guy said, "What's up with Jenka? He's cutting up some tubs or something there. I don't know, he's cutting up some tubs, some weird tanks or something."
Say it's a cool, unexpected craft. You want to believe that these guys and others like them have a future. Because, as I said at the beginning, it's small business that should be the foundation of the country's economy. I urge you to support and buy from local producers whenever possible. And to those crafters and small business owners who are watching us now, I urge you to work officially and pay your taxes. Because that's the least we can do to support our country. From our previous episodes, you already know about the Shukai project. These are small statues dedicated to places, people, and events connected with Kyiv. And one of these statues is dedicated to Kyiv Dry Jam. Now I will introduce you to the people who revived this Kyiv souvenir.
I am Svetlana Semenets.
I am Yaroslav Semenets, and we make Kyiv Dry Jam.
So, shall we taste it?
Well, yes. This is a plum, and this is a pumpkin. From such ordinary things.
The plum is very tasty. And what's cool is that it doesn't look like a prune.
We take it there's a bit of a question with the community there because the main task is to make candied plums from the plum, and from the apricot, it's not dried apricots and not prunes. Well, so far it's working out. Well, a pumpkin is a pumpkin. Even in Africa, it's still a pumpkin.
You can tell it's a pumpkin, but the texture is a bit jelly-like.
These are vegetables. These are vegetables, yes. Here, inside, there's a little packet about us. Try it. There's carrot, beetroot, and pumpkin here.
Carrot? I've tried carrot.
Before swallowing, at the very end, he realizes that he's a beetroot. And before that, people don't understand. They ask, what is this? A prune, a cherry, what could it be? Try it and experiment on people. Well, I'm tasting it. This is not beetroot. Exactly. But then he will confess.
Very tender. It's just so tender, tender, tender. But still, my top choice is carrot. It's really extraordinary, so unusual. So, is this really an old recipe?
In the year 1346, there was the first written mention that a gift was sent from Kyiv to the wedding of Prince Yahailo and Princess Jadwiga, candied fruits known as Kyiv varenya.
So they were already called varenya back then?
Yes, varenya because it is boiled.
I thought they just took the fruit and dried it.
Yes, but first they made varenya. And varenya is made for a very long time because you have to cook it up to 7 times.
Up to 7 times?
First, it is heated in syrup, for example, as varenya is made. Either it is covered with sugar or poured with sugar syrup.
Once it is heated, it is set aside to cool for about 10-12 hours. The second time, it is boiled and then boiled again for the 3rd time. And then gradually there is such a process in chemistry, diffusion. The juice came out, the sugar went in, and when they start drying, everything that was sweet inside solidifies. And we get such a candy. And how did you find the recipe? How did you start making it? Once, in 2008, a very interesting book came into our family. It is also historical. The author is Olena Malakovets, A Gift to Young Housewives. This is a very interesting book. It was first published in 1861, and the copy that came into our hands was the 27th edition. It was very popular, from the year 1912.
The 27th edition from the year 1912? A gift for young housewives? Or means to reduce expenses?
And why? Because this book isn't about how to cook, but about how to live, how to go to the market, and how much everything costs. Here is a very interesting historical material written at the market as a reference, showing how much things were supposed to cost at that time. This book contains a lot of recipes on how to make Kyiv-style dry preserves.
Not just one, but many different ones.
Different ones, because on different pages, some were with pears, some were with citrus fruits. Look here, see what it was called. Smoothies. These are apricots. I like confections the most. Confections. How to cut, how to cure, how to soak. Each candied fruit has its own recipe, and it's not as simple as just boiling, draining the syrup, and drying. No, everything there is very individual. In the 16th year, in February, for the first time in my life, I gave a semi-professional dryer as a gift for the 14th of February, which is produced here in Venezia. It weighed 60 kilos, and we carried it up to the 4th floor without an elevator. So I said, this is instead of Louboutins for you. Well, the price was about the same there. Tamery signals. It became normal in our family to get up at 2:30 in the night to switch or turn something over. Well, that's how it is. Production is going on. And that's how something started to work out for us. And for 3 months, we were constantly cleaning, cutting, cooking, drying, doing everything there. And then our daughter accidentally joined the team that was organizing the first vegan festival in Kyiv. Well, she comes and says, you haven't done this here, you need to show people, and your audience is there because they're vegans. Well, imagine, we're already over 50, we arrived, and there are young people, dreadlocks, hipsters. Well, and I'm in a jacket with my wife. We started offering, and we see that people like it. The first chain that offered us cooperation, actually, it wasn't even a chain. The first experience for us was a shock. Good one, you understand, it's super, it's Top Gun, and then they tell us, We'll come to your production, check how your sanitation is, how you do things there. They came and said, yeah, it's fine. Even though we're in a village and it's very modest, it's fine, it's clean. Before Easter, that same good wine, which is a great honor for us, ordered a lot of candied fruits for Easter cakes. And everything there was also so cool, we walked around feeling very proud. They wrote that we are so cool. And what's interesting is that in this place, back in 2015, Svetlana and I were sitting, still smoking back then, drinking coffee, and thinking about what to do next, which business to choose. We couldn't even imagine that in 3 years, right in this place, a monument to Kyiv dry jam would be unveiled. And the things we dreamed about would come true so quickly and so close.
And which one sells the best?
If we're talking about candied fruits as a souvenir, it all depends on the consumer, who they're going to be gifted to. Because, well, imagine, for example, a tour guide is taking 20 kids to show them around Kyiv. And then at the end, he takes out these little boxes and says, this is for you, this is Kyiv dry jam. And not only for the kids, but it's also very interesting for adult tourists. And it's a memory about the excursions, about Kyiv. If we're talking about a more substantial gift, for example, when people are going to visit someone abroad or need some kind of corporate gifts, then you could say about these two boxes. This one is called Ukraina because it's yellow and blue, the colors of our flag. And this one we call Kyiv because it's green and blue. The blue represents the Dnipro River, and the green stands for Kyiv's parks.
How can I not love you, Kyiv, my dear? La la la.
Craft, my friends, can be different. It can be light, it can be semi-sweet, or it can be strong.
I am Roman Pelek, and I am engaged in reviving the Ukrainian traditional strong drink.
Hi, how are you? I'm fine, good. Let's do something to make things even better. Let's try. Alcohol is bad, especially if you are pregnant. Please tell me what we are going to taste now.
Yes, let me tell you. Well, actually, this is a long-forgotten ancient Ukrainian drink. It's called Kontabas, that's its name. So nobody made it up, it's not an invented name. There are also some variations. Some called it Kontabal, some Kontabas, some Kontabas. This is an ancient Ukrainian drink that was produced, well, we think, somewhere around the 17th or 16th century. Is it strong? It's strong, 38 degrees. To make 1 liter of Kontabas, you need a liter of distillate and 500 milliliters of blackcurrant buds. Blackcurrant buds are very hard to collect. For example, from 50 bushes, you can collect maybe 50 milligrams of buds.
This is not vodka, cognac, whiskey, or rum. It's something similar.
If we go by the laws that we currently have in Ukraine, and they are old Soviet-style laws, then this is considered a tincture. But you could say the same about whiskey, that it's a tincture on oak. So, in principle, this is much harder to do than just a tincture. It's not merely a tincture or something sweet. 500 milliliters of blackcurrant buds gives a very high concentration of oils, aromas, all of that. You can even see it. It's like oil. That's why you should never drink it in one gulp, as some of our people are used to doing. You need to smell it first. Blackcurrant buds. You can feel it. Someone might sense some fir tree. First we inhale.
And it doesn't smell like alcohol at all? There's no smell of alcohol.
No, it's not alcoholic at all. So these blackcurrant buds, when we take them out, they're so tiny, really tiny, but when we take them out later, they're big, really large. You can see that they absorb all the negative substances and release something positive. What it smells like, that's what they release. So first we inhale, the nasal cavity should be completely filled, and then we make very small, tiny inhales on the edge of the lip, just a little bit, so that the receptors get used to it, because it is very intense. They need to get accustomed.
38 degrees?
38 degrees is not felt at all. Honestly, this was made in winter when it's a bit lower. Here it could even be 41, but you still won't feel it. And now when we've gotten a little used to it, when the mouth cavity has gotten used to it, now you can take a nice sip.
A nice sip.
We're back.
How delicious.
Listen, I want to emphasize something for you to notice right now. A very, very long aftertaste. The aftertaste will last for about 15-20 minutes for a very, very long time. The aftertaste lasts for 20 minutes. So, because it's so oily, it flows very slowly through the mouth cavity and throat, and this aroma, this different taste, lingers and lingers and lingers. Your business will continue uninterrupted unless you interfere with it.
It's pleasant. It's better not to have a snack afterward. It's better not to have a snack. Don't have a snack. Where did you get this recipe?
I'm originally from Zakarpattia. In 2018, my brother and I bought a house in the Mukachevo district. By chance, we found 90 liters of moonshine in the basement there. Actually, there was a lot of everything there. There was beer from the Austrian Empire, wine, and distillates. We bought a good house. The person was very enthusiastic and knowledgeable about the topic. It was impressive. And along with that, we found recipes there. There were recipes for food, all sorts of things, including a recipe for Kontabas.
So it's like winning the lottery, right?
It's like the lottery, and here there's even more. Because before this, a couple of years before this, I worked at a company that represents Hennessy, something like that. So basically, we were taught at all these tastings how to properly sense the drink and so on. I think that if I hadn't gone through the school, then if I had met it, I would have just poured it out of the house. Yeah, like some kind of homemade moonshine, and that's it. We searched and discovered that Kontabas, an ancient drink consumed by Ukrainians, truly exists in Klinovetsky. It's not just a fabrication. You know how in old Soviet movies they show a Ukrainian drunk with some kind of strange liquid, like that's what he drank. But actually, no. We drank respectable drinks. Kontabas was on the same level as cognac, on the same level as whiskey.
But not exactly the same. It's on the same level, but it's unique in its own way.
Yes, it's not like anything else. And this is our Ukrainian thing. It's a Ukrainian house, where blackcurrant grows near the house.
Exactly. I realized what it smells like to me. It's an old Ukrainian house. Yes, the aroma is just like ours, truly Ukrainian.
The longer the Kontabas stands, the better it gets. So if you buy this bottle and drink it in 2 years, it will be like, there are floral notes. The sharpness disappears. It becomes so soft, very, very soft, pleasant, very pleasant, like nectar.
It's so nice to watch you when you talk about this. I can see you almost have wings.
Yes, it's very tasty. That contrabass we found, it had been aging since '93. And we made a blend, we made 400 bottles. Those 400 bottles sold very quickly and at a high price. People were buying multiple bottles at once. A 1993 contrabass is truly unique, with no other like it in existence. And after that, we already started making our own drink. And the first problem we faced was the buds. Where are you going to get the buds? People who grow currants, they are not ready to give the buds. So, there won't be any currants? There won't be any currants, right? The bushes will be destroyed. On Facebook, I found all the district centers of Ukraine, went into their group chats, and wrote that I buy black currant buds. They began selling to me in half-liter, liter, and 2-liter quantities. I purchased them at 1,000 hryvnias per liter. How much does it cost currently? For restaurants, the price through the distributor is 1,202.40 hryvnias, with the distributor taking an additional 20% on top of that. On our website, it's 1,400 hryvnias, so as not to compete with the distributor accordingly. That's why the price is high, and there's no way you can get away from it.
Good whiskey costs much more. If we're competing with those drinks, then our prices aren't that high.
Yes. And it is able to compete. In most of the best restaurants in Kyiv, let's say, in the center of Kyiv, we are being sold. Gradually, people are becoming interested in other cities. Many people are very interested from abroad. The States, Germany, now Bulgaria, we are actively negotiating, Britain. Britain is the largest consumer of currants in Europe. I can't give you the percentage right now, but the volumes are huge. They make gin from currants, they make whiskey from currants, they make currant rum. Kontabas would fit in there 100%.
It smells really great, just awesome. All right, stop. Let's have a drink already. So friends, now I'll introduce you not only to the craftswoman, but I'll also show you the whole scientific and artistic platform Ostriv. Let's go get acquainted and take a look around. Hello, hello!
Kevin, Nastya, nice to meet you. I'm Nastya, an upcycling artist. Upcycling artist? That's right. An upcycling artist is a woman who creates art from recycled materials.
So, why is upcycling important? What is it needed for?
The project is called Metaphora, which in ancient Greek means transition. And for me, upcycling is a transition. What I let from the past pass through me into the future, so that it continues on, so that it doesn't disappear, doesn't die. It's something opposite to death, probably. It's renewal, rebirth. And upcycling for me is a way to preserve energy, to harm nature as little as possible, and to create something new and beautiful from something devalued, wasted, I don't know, so-called trash, to see potential in it, even in some little things, and to bring it to life in something new and beautiful. And this is my upcycled laptop case.
It seems so simple, but there's something about it.
I try to upcycle everything in general. I don't know, it's just my thing, my fixed idea. I don't buy any new materials. Well, very rarely, maybe some hardware. But in general, I want to reach a level where I have absolutely zero waste, just a completely closed energy cycle. Well, actually, that's more or less how it is now. Even some small scraps of fabric. I either weave them into tapestries or make, this is my own technique, these bag panels. There are actually tiny, very thin strips, little scraps like that. So, well, yes, that's what I strive for. From something that seemed unnecessary, something you could have just thrown away. But I wanted to show up somewhere else.
To give it new life.
Yes. So all these little things, these are parts from the electric meter factory. Resistors, diodes, little capacitors. There are just a few of them here now because they are over there.
These are really cool little bulbs.
These are the boards. I cut them here on the milling machine.
Cool.
This is my creation, my first textile upcycle, a tapestry. Is this something recycled? This is recycled textile. It's a tapestry with a story, because there are a lot of pieces of old clothes or scraps here that I once collected somewhere. And they lay in boxes for many years. I kept them. And in all of this here, if you look closely, there is a lot of intertwined history because I recognize some clothes there. Oh, this was once a gift from an ex-boyfriend. His co-worker brought him some yoga outfit from abroad, for example. There are a lot of little pieces here that are filled with memories. Actually, upcycling for me is something about preserving and transforming memories from the past into the future.
All of this is created here, right?
Yes, of course. These are the residents who work here all the time. And we have a new resident who prints with clay. Prints with clay? Yes, it's a 3D printer that prints with clay.
I'm impressed by that. It looks like some kind of yarn, and it's just amazing. Interesting place, much more than I expected. By the way, like any mysterious island, there's a map here. Is there still plenty here?
Well, yes.
And what's this?
This is a hydroponic aquarium created by one of the platform's residents. It was created very quickly, right before my eyes. Literally in a couple of days, I think. And here the plants that you can eat grow very quickly. It's very interesting to watch this, especially when the lights are turned off here.
And this is also a resident who came up with this thing, wanted to make it, and did it.
Yes, literally on one of those, just got hit with the idea in the head. Probably he had some experience and probably it was forming and developing somewhere.
What's cool about this platform is that you can come here and today it'll be one thing, but in a month it'll be something completely different, right? Cool. That's awesome. Craft workshop, right?
Yes, these are craft workshops. Everything is listed and the address is provided. Here is my little workspace where I do a lot of different things. And another guy is soldering some wires, making noise do-it-yourself musical instruments. Here are some prototypes. These aren't typical things. They're more like do-it-yourself items. Well, you see, he cuts them out himself. Here you can see the whole system inside, how it's arranged. He somehow adjusts all of this, twists these little knobs and labels them.
Damn, I get it. So this is kind of a community of people who are a bit out of this world. Someone makes musical instruments by hand. Someone grows some kind of grass in an aquarium. Damn, well, that's cool. Such people should unite because they inspire each other. I mean, I think that you sit here watching him solder these wires and you think, oh, and you get inspired.
Sometimes I take his soldering iron to, for example, solder these earrings with light bulbs. The light bulbs are from an electricity meter factory. I took Ostriv's soldering iron to attach the fittings here.
Damn, look how cool it is. Cool. Recycled plastic art.
You can flip it here, you can see what the background is made of. Very cool. I love these kinds of motifs. Something just simple and small. And this is a Vaitinanka, also made from polyethylene bags. Just a transparent background and just a layer of some black packaging that I folded. And it turned out to be such a geometric, ethnic thing.
The process doesn't come from having an order and needing to do it, but from having creativity and art inside and just wanting to share it.
Yes, first of all, I have this kind of obsession. At some point, it became hard for me to work for someone else and do someone else's tasks, especially when I don't see the results right away, or when I'm doubtful about how useful it really is, or when I have a certain internal request that doesn't fit into this task, but it takes up my time, it takes my energy and resources. And inside me, so much is being generated, and I decided that I can channel it through myself in the form of some transformed materials, well, to express myself through them, to speak to the world through my own creativity.
Cool.
Here we have a metal workshop.
Wow.
Right here, it's a bit chaotic right now, although we've already tidied up a little.
So in the literal sense, it's a metal workshop.
Yes, here they cut and weld metal. There are a lot of metal furniture pieces on the island that were created right in this room.
Cool.
This is Zolena putting something on the laser.
Good afternoon. And what are you going to cut?
I will be making frames. She's also a resident of the island. She has her own projects there. She works with wood, as you can see, and she also makes beautiful candles from beeswax. Painting workshop. Here we are lucky to already have ventilation, so you can paint and spray here. This is the glass and ceramics workshop. Usually, 2 residents work here.
One works with 3D printing ceramics, the one I showed, and
The other resident makes lamps from glass using the Tiffany technique. You know, the stained glass technique. Such beautiful things. And here are some of the latest new creations. A guy took it, built himself a printer, and now he's making ceramics with it.
He just took it and built himself a 3D printer. In a few minutes, we were lucky enough to meet this craftsman.
This is a product, a lampshade printed with Ukrainian clay on a clay 3D printer. This is additive manufacturing, meaning the material is not removed, not cut out from a solid piece, but added layer by layer in thin sausage-like strips.
From clay? Yes.
I don't know how it turned out this way, such beauty.
You can try unusual new techniques. That is, you can load into a reservoir where the clay for printing is stored in layers, colored clay, dyed with different pigments, and it will be like aquafresh paste, squeezing out and forming some other color, besides just creating the shape. You can make things that you just can't mold by hand at all.
Well, yes, it's just impossible to mold.
It just looks like textile, this texture, yes.
I'm really impressed. Impressed by the scale, impressed by the way it's done, as if everything is simple, but the way it's done with such taste, and something is being done there, and something is being done here, and they're working there, not just for you. I'm here, I'm doing it, it's cool, I really want to...
To create...
Yes, I want to create.
So it really floats in the air?
And already on the way out, we met Roman, one of the founders of the space, who told us a bit about its history and meaning.
If we talk about the island, we created it. When we were students, we started to build it. And it's the kind of space that we lacked during our studies. When we started studying to become architects, we lacked some hands-on work, practical interaction, working with real projects, with real cases. Not just digital models on paper, but we wanted to touch our designs, to feel our things, and in fact to improve our work that way. And we took a lot of inspiration from the Bauhaus school. There are many interdisciplinary schools like that which have workshops, and we decided that we need to create something like that in Ukraine. At that time, we didn't have the money to go abroad, so we decided that since we couldn't go, let's do something here. And they gave us this basement. It was in terrible condition, and together with the students we cleaned it up, set it up, got some grants and made a workshop. And actually we created this ecosystem where we can, without leaving this space, come up with an idea, find like-minded people, make a prototype and present it for the community to judge. Now, education is very digitalized. People, architects, don't know what wood is, what it feels like to the touch, how it works, what fibers are, how this affects the chair you are making. Because you can design all sorts of futuristic things, but when you face reality, you get a completely different result than what you had in your head. If we really understand that you need this space, that you can realize yourself here, and you are a cool guy or a cool girl or just some artist or scientist, then we say, come join us. Become a resident, and you come here and you already join the community where you take responsibility for supporting this space, for developing this space.
It becomes yours, right? Like a family member?
Yes, we all start sharing responsibilities. That is, we take turns together or we do things to keep everything clean. We consider both everyday and strategic matters, which takes our discussions to a new level and format. And then comes the third level, when you already take on a real leadership role in the community, where you move into something like a core team, and you already start working more systematically on projects that have gone beyond just your own work.
That's what Craft Kyiv is like. Well, we're moving on. See you in the next episode.